Thanks for having us today, Troy. I appreciate that very much, Troy, and everybody at Monson. And what I want to discuss today is just the terrestrial reality capture and some of the new things that Trimble has come up with. This is something I always like to put out there. You can think about the days when GPS first came around. Heck, even EDMs when they first came around. There's always new technology around the corner, and it's a matter of how we adapt to it. So the portfolio for Trimble has recently changed in that we have gotten rid of the X7 and have introduced the Trimble X9 Core and Premium. And what's unique about this is that it's actually a configurable scanner that has a option for a perpetual license, which is what you're familiar with, or a term license. And what's nice about this is it can be upgraded, downgraded. You can combine that perpetual with term. So the idea is that if you've got say you've got a core scanner and a project comes along where you need more range or more data, you can actually upgrade for a temporary time on a term and then go back to your core scanner at that point. So one of the challenges that we've always come across is, what do I need? Being able to upgrade and downgrade will help as new customers enter scanning. I was encouraged to see that questionnaire that was just placed. About 60% of the people online here are utilizing scanning in one way or another. And just like a hammer and a screwdriver, it's just another tool. Those who are using the scanning at 90%, I'm curious how many of them are actually being asked to scan. My point is everybody's being asked to scan. Customers just want their data and they want the job done. So it allows you to have flexibility, being able to combine those. It allows you to invest at a safer level, reducing the risk, reducing the need to get off the ground immediately, where you're looking at about a $23,000 savings when you're getting into a perpetual versus a term. And there is time that we give you on those things as well as those terms run up. And this is very similar to what you see with software, et cetera. So this just allows you to get into it, invest in scanning and not necessarily a scanner, and work with your trusted advisor there, Monson. So the X9 over the X7, more range, double the speed from 500 kilohertz to a million points a second, and greater accuracy of 16 seconds compared to 21, which on the scanning world is actually a very accurate scanner. Range noise has been improved as well to 1.5 millimeters. The imaging is much, much better, and the overall calibration of the system itself is something that's been improved, and we'll talk a little about that. Between the core and the premium, the only difference today is the number of points per second and the range. So it essentially doubles what you've got from 500K to a million and 80 meters to 150. The sensitivity is something that is always been an issue with scanning when you look at highly reflective surfaces, whether it be a stainless steel or a black shiny car, for example. This is a stainless steel that's in a brewery. It's curved. And this slide here, what you see in red is what we did not pick up. Everything else has points. So extremely good sensitivity on our scanners, being able to pick up lots of different things, not only outside in the field, but any interior plants or industrial facilities that you may work in. The X9 also utilizes a laser pointer where you can steer this just like a total station for getting very accurate measurements to a target. We're not doing high density on this scan. If this is a georeference point, we're actually going to do 21 different measurements to the same position and take that statistical analysis of that, just like any EDM that you're working with on your Prism, to give you a single solution. So as far as the instrument, it's actually acting as a total station for you. Very accurate for your georeferencing. I mentioned the auto calibration. Two things that are unique to this unit is that it will automatically level for you up to 10 degrees out of level. and that's even in an inverted position. But it also calibrates the angles, the trunnion axis, calibrates the EDM, and you can get a report out of this right in the field. You can do one in the morning, you can do one midday. It actually goes through and does one before every scan, so that if you want to output any of them, you are able to. So you have a backup of what you had for your scanner to give your clients. This will result in no service requirements on the unit. There's not a schedule for any service. You do not need to send it in once a year. It costs nothing to do this. There are lights at the bottom of the scanner, and if they turn red and stay red, then you might want to give a call. But other than that, there is no service schedule for the X9 instrument. Additionally, in the portfolio, we have an X12. The X12 is very fast, 2.2 million points a second. The range on it is spec'd to 350 meters. We put it at 250 meters as far as a usable, just because you're starting to get into it just gets too loose on your data. It's not a very dense scan at that point. Very good for any environment where you're working with industrial applications or outdoor mining, where you may need long range to a high wall, etc. Quick look at the specs here. What I wanted to highlight is on the imaging, that X12 also has an 80 megapixel camera, which will allow you to retake any single image very easily, as opposed to the whole thing. So if that UPS truck happens to drive by right as you need that image, you can retake the single image. And the range noise is actually at 0.3 of a millimeter. Very, very good, clean scan. For capturing the data in the field, you can do everything on the scanner itself, or you can utilize the software that we have called Perspective. Resides on a tablet. It's a Windows-based program. And Perspective will allow you to register in the field. It will allow you to annotate. It will allow you to label scans. It will allow you to do your georeferencing, everything in the field. So when you come back to the office, you're ready to go. You know that you have all the scans. You don't miss anything in the field. And it eliminates the revisits even on scanning, which eliminates many revisits. Additionally, we have a mobile app that will allow you to control the scanner via your phone. That's called Perspective Mobile. And Perspective is also now available in a term base, as opposed to just being a perpetual license. So again, allowing you to ease into the system, allowing you to ease into the world of scanning. And Perspective is continually being updated. We recently just announced a couple of things where for an area scan, you can simply tap on a vehicle as an example, and it will scan that vehicle for you in more great detail. Final product we have hardware-wise is the SX12. Many of you may be familiar with this. This is a robot that scans. The scanner, I would call this a surgical scanner. It's 26,600 points a second, very long range. That's 600 meters is what you can expect. You can get very dense data, but we're looking at 26,000 points a second, not a million. So this is going to be that scenario where you're out surveying and you want to get great detail on a bridge. You window in that bridge and that's what you scan. So it's a surgical scanner. It will also work with the, pardon me, I'm getting ahead of myself there. It works with Access. So it works into your current workflow if you're familiar with Access. It is a total station, so you're on control. So all those scans are just millions of side shots. They are already registered and tied to your control. And what many people are doing today is they'll use this to build their spine of a large project, and then do their scans with their traditional scanner like the X9, and then register those scans to the SX12 scan that is on control. So the way that it works is a little different. It uses what we call a band scanner. If you've ever seen the SX12 in action, you'll see that it goes up and down and back and forth, and it just continues to densify the area that it's scanning. Very visual oriented. You've got 4 cameras. One of them is going down. If you look on the right-hand side, you can see as we continue to zoom in, it's got incredible optics where we can actually read this, and we can find very precisely where we're looking at on that sign. Great for any imagery. It does have a laser pointer with a very good spot size. And as I had mentioned, you can combine the SX12 with a traditional scanner and build a nice setup where you're getting everything georeferenced right off the gate, right out of the gate. And it's very clean data, and it's a very simple process. One of the things that those of you who are working in scanning know is that the workflow is a little different, but it's not something that's so difficult that you can't overcome it. But this is a familiar workflow for you. So again, the SX12 works with Access, more of a surveying tool. You can deliver the data in the field or in the office, of course, or ground or coordinate system, or ground or grid coordinate system. And it works with all of our other sensors. Where Perspective is going to work with the X units that we have out there. Lots of data collection. It gives you all of the ability to look at that point cloud, navigate through it, annotate within the point cloud, and verify that you have everything before you export it out for your deliverables to the office. Speaking of the office, we work with multiple softwares. Trimble has quite a few options. We also work with a number of CAD options. As far as the formats, we have all of the standard formats that you can export. Likewise, we can import those. Primary software we work with is Trimble Business Center. There's a scan module. Justin just spoke about some of the capabilities within TVC utilizing the mobile mapper. Lots of things such as being able to extract trees. You can extract many, many different features, line work, telephone lines, et cetera, et cetera. RealWorks is another program we have. This one, I like to refer to this as more as the industrial software. You can model in here. It does have some extraction and classification routines in there as well, as you can see on the bottom right. And it has a very powerful tank module for anybody that wants to get into any of the industrial tanks. And the reports that you can get out of that are quite simple to do, very, very detailed in what they provide. Trimble also has SketchUp. This is something we see more and more architects utilize. You can take the scan, go right into SketchUp and design off of it, as well as Tekla. That works more with our civil group and works with the modeling. Again, scan data can go right into there. We can take that model and pull that over and work with it with the scans in the cloud. Lots of different ways that we work in the cloud. We recently introduced the Trimble Reality Capture Platform Service. It's a mouthful. We refer to it as triceps for short. What this does is this opens up scanning for everybody. So the question has always come up, what do I do with this data? And now you've got the ability to let any stakeholder look at this data. They do not need a specialized computer. They do not need a specialized software. At no charge, your clients can now go in. All they need is an internet access, and they can look at the scan data. So when you're sharing data, it's everybody working on the same page. Everybody knows the exact same viewpoint that you're looking at, not just a screenshot. Allows you to connect, share reality immediately, and you can look at this from multiple sources and be able to very quickly and concisely share information. You know, your typical system is you do your survey, you get your plans out of it, you get your design, your modeling, and you go lay out and build a project. What happens in the meantime is you have a number of markups, which leads to some beautiful retrofits. I'm not sure why anybody would drill holes in a concrete beam other than moving the duct around it, but it happens, and you get areas like this. Which pipe am I talking about? Well, we do a screenshot, we send an email, and we say this one. Or we could actually utilize the Reality Capture platform, take a view, point to this, and now the client can look at it, see the entire model as well, move around there, and they know exactly what the issue is that you want to discuss. And you can share that with anyone and everyone. So we're looking at implementing scanning and not necessarily a scanner. I know I just went through all of the different hardware lineups that we have and software lineups, but the idea with the X series and being flexible now is that it will open the door for more scanning rather than determining, I got to buy this scanner or that scanner, which is going to be best. We want to get people into scanning, and that's what we're all about. So if we go back to this, the machine gun is not necessarily the scanner I'm trying to sell. What this king wants in the scenarios, he wants victory. He wants to be able to provide the outcome for his clients that his clients are expecting, and he wants to do so as efficiently as he can. That's it in a nutshell. I hope that wasn't too quick, Troy.